So unfortunately, it looks like we lost a little bit there, but that is okay. I'm back on the live stream now, so oops. We'll probably get started with the next episode that we have for the rest of this hour. If you have any questions and you're watching us live, feel free to reach out on the comments below. And if you're watching on the replay, I always respond to comments. The next episode that we are going to record live is confidence and a positive attitude in video production. G'day and welcome to Video Confidence Coach Cast with your host, Zoe, the Video Confidence Coach. I welcome you to today's podcast and hope you're having a really good week while we chat today for the next 20 minutes. In today's podcast, I wanted to chat on the topic of confidence and a positive attitude when doing video production. Now, of course, this may seem quite obvious to anyone who has done marketing or, as you've seen, professionals in the limelight, and especially, like, for example, daily television hosts. You can see that they're always smiling, always professional, always straightforward. But I'm going to tell you now, there is, especially when you're doing something every day, there's going to be a chance that you're not happy, that you're not perfect, and you're not always going to be on top of everything as it comes to light, especially in the world of live streaming or when you're regularly recording podcasts. You're not always going to be 100% all the time because life happens. So what I mean by having this positive attitude when it comes to video production, I wanted to tell you a little story. So if you come with me for a moment to the back end of, I want to say, 2014. So we are in, I want to say, October, November of 2014. And I was producing a series for a local television station down our way called Channel 31. And this was a free-to-air television show that I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to create a 6-part television series, so half-hour shows. And I was doing this entirely by myself because, of course, I was Zoe. And this television series was called Shortcuts, with a Z at the end because I'm cool. And this essentially was a half an hour TV show showcasing short films from around Victoria and showcasing people, because I was very interested at the time of getting into television production. I had always seen myself working for something like the ABC or SBS or one of those larger media companies, and I thought this was a good portfolio example to show myself as a producer. And a producer is essentially someone who is like the overseer of an entire production, all the way from start to finish. While, say, for example, a director may be someone behind the camera and like directing the people in front of the camera, they're not necessarily there for the entire production, where a producer usually is. They are coordinating all the people and all the things, as well as, for me, in this case, when running Shortcuts, I was also a host as well. So I was learning editing. By this point, I had been running a business for about 5 or 6 years, so I was fairly confident in my video production skills, to a point, of course, but not for television production. So I learned a lot of things in a very short amount of time. And I essentially had this 6-part series, and I think it ran 8 p.m. on a Monday night. So it was fairly, not prime time, but fairly decent, showcase of hours. And I hosted it. I sat in front of a green screen that I made for 5 of the episodes. And then the 6th episode was supposed to be this glamorous award show type style episode. And I was producing this episode in November for release in the February of the next year. And we were filming it in my garage, of my biological parents' house garage, with 8 people, so friends that I was able to cobble on board. And I was stressed. It was hot. It was stressful. I had a crew of people who really didn't know what they were doing and who were really there to help me out. And I'm so grateful that they did. But it was clear that like I did my absolute best to prepare everyone. But of course, on the day, things happen. And I had a co-host, a professional actor who was doing really well now. And we were able to record the episode, get it done, beautiful, with not too many mishaps. And then I reviewed the footage. And I looked angry. The entire episode of me and this co-host doing our best. And at the time, I thought I was smiling. I honestly thought at the time I was smiling. I was not. You could see it in my eyes that I was stressed. And even though I had like this smile on my face and doing my best to do what I could, in those moments while my co-host was speaking, I looked angry. I looked pissed. And in the final edit, it definitely came across that way. And the reason I tell you this story is because it showed me that maybe, being on camera when I am also doing every other role in a production maybe wasn't the best choice of action for me as an 18-year-old, balancing everything else in my life while running a business, while trying to produce a TV show, while also doing school, while also like trying to manage personal matters and family life and all of these other things. Yes, maybe that wasn't the best course of action for me and probably not the best thing to do or the best, brightest idea that I had at the time. And I look back and I realize that experience taught me a lot. But it also highlighted for me the importance of having a positive attitude when it comes to video production. Because when working in your business, and say, for example, with clients that I run marketing campaigns for, so marketing campaigns are very large scale productions. So you're not just coming away with just a podcast or, for example, just a live stream, which is a tool that can be used within your business and marketing your business. It is a larger campaign. So say, for example, you may have a day on set where you are recording a bunch of videos that are going to, say, for example, sit on your website, but also be used in your email campaigns and then eventually filter to your social media. That is, for example, a 3-hour shoot at minimum. And video production is a different beast of its own in the sense that there is a lot of preparation pre and post before you even get to the actual production side of things. And that's why I do the work that I do. I help people with that monumental task because I've done it so much and do it so often with my clients. And I'm also there to make the experience easier for you because I take that stress away from you because I am there for you. I'm there to focus on you, and the videographers are there to do their job. I help communicate between the two because a lot of people that I've worked with who had tried doing it themselves and then came to me saying, Zoe, it didn't work. I need to get this done. I need to do this for whatever, big scale event, production, product, service, whatever we needed to do. I need your help. So I came in and helped them. And I was able to communicate with the videographers fairly succinctly and fairly clearly because I've been them. I was them. I was working as a videographer for a very long time. And when working with videographers, they say the same thing to me. Zoe, awesome. I just needed to come in, do my job. Awesome. I didn't need to coach the people. I didn't need to try and train them. You came in, did your job, and we left. Beautiful. Awesome. I'm not saying this to hype myself up in any way. I'm just saying that when it comes to things that a lot of riding on this, especially when it comes to both money, as in you need to pay for, like, for example, pay for my services, but also pay for videographers, pay for a set, pay for all the other accoutrements that come with that. It can be quite overwhelming because in that moment, you need to step up and perform. And if you are not a performer, if you are not media trained, and if you are not someone who's been doing this for a very long time, that pressure can be overwhelming and almost insurmountable, which is why we practice beforehand, we train beforehand, we actively work on, okay, this is why we're doing these things. So you're not just figuring out, okay, why do I need to stand in the middle of this the set and just sit there quietly for 30 seconds? You will know why, because you need atmosphere. Essentially what that means is definitely on sets that are unique, as opposed to just like a basic, say, white or green screen. The people who do sound need to be able to establish how a room sounds with no sound. So then in post, they can better, in post-production, they can better edit the sounds to make it clearer and crisper because they have a baseline of everything with no sound, how everything should feel and sit. So that's what it's called atmosphere, because they need to record the atmosphere of a room, because every room sounds differently, and that then impacts how everything will sound in the post-production and the final product. So that can be quite overwhelming for people, especially when you're not sure what is going to happen. So when it comes to these productions, being able to rely on the people that you've hired and rely on the crew that you've hired to do the work for you, to have that confidence of they're doing their job, they know what they need to do, I just need to do my job. I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about, that I have rehearsed, that I have practiced, and that I've actively thought about, okay, at the end of the day, how are people seeing this? They're going to see this on their phone, and hopefully I'm going to say something that clearly resonates with them, and you should, because we would have done the pre-production work to figure out what you're going to say at the end of the day. And that can give you some confidence, but that doesn't necessarily give you the positive attitude that will help carry you through a shoot day, for example. And when you are doing something this monumental for your business, especially if you haven't done something like this before, I understand that it can be overwhelming, but to be able to give yourself that positive attitude, because you've already done the practice, you've already built up the confidence, which is essentially practice, to be able to be here that day. And of course, things are different when things actually happen for real. But when you're there, you have a supportive crew around you. You have people who are there to make you look the best that you can, and give yourselves a couple of runs and goes at things so you can practice a couple of times. And when a director or me or whoever is behind the camera asks you to do another take, it's not because the first take was bad. I want to stress that. It's not because the first thing or the thing that you just did was terrible. It was because they want to have more options when they go to the editing room. Or when they hand it over to the editor, they want to give as many options as they can to be able to make this thing look as professional as possible for you. You didn't do a bad job. They're just getting as many takes as they can with the time that they have available. So I want you to come into hopefully working in a marketing campaign, or even just recording a simple video for your social media using your phone, just getting it, for example, picking it up and just talking to your phone like it is another human being requires practice, and that's where the confidence comes in. And to give yourself that knowledge of you are there to serve people, you are there to help people, and you're doing it the best and hopefully the way that you have learnt to do so effectively and as easily as possible. And hopefully you have that opportunity to do so as you grow your market, as you grow your business, and you grow your community, and you hopefully market to that community. Because when it comes to business, you are there, yes, to make money so that you can support yourself and your family and your livelihood, but you're also there to serve. And if that means you standing in front of a camera and telling people that they are not alone, that you are here, you've experienced what they've experienced, and you're here in front of the camera to tell them that they can do it too. And sometimes that's just what people need. And if it's coming out in an ad, awesome. Some people may, and arguably most people will skip on through. But if we've got that key nugget within that first 3 seconds, that really resonates with the people who you want to be working with, then it does its job. The money that you should put into marketing should be able to give you a return on investment, minimum 3-fold, usually 5. Because you want people to know who you are and what you stand for, So then when the time comes, they can come to you when they need their help, when they need that support, or when they need that product from you. So giving yourself that opportunity to have that positive attitude when you're in front of the camera. And again, it doesn't even have to be a very big set. It doesn't have to be on a full production. It can just be something as simple as being in your office, picking up your phone and looking directly at the camera lens and talking as straightforwardly as you can. Maybe even having a couple of trial runs, warming yourself up and then going for it. But you can do that. You have the power to do that. And it's achievable. I believe, at least. And of course, that's coming from someone who has been doing this for almost 15 years now, or a little over, I think. And I'm still, seen as a kid, as a young woman. And it took me a long time to realize that, it's because they don't take me seriously because I'm a woman, not really just because of the young part. But when you find a group and community that are excited to see what you can do and excited to see how you can grow your business, then that's who you should focus on. The people that you bring on board and the people that you bring into your community are the people that you should ultimately focus on. And hopefully that should give you the positive attitude that you can to being confident on the camera. I think we've wrapped this up quite nicely, Zoe. So if you are interested in starting your own marketing campaign, again, something really big, or even something as small as just needing some confidence to get in front of the camera yourself, why not check me out at vcc.training? I'm always happy to help people out and point them in the right direction. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye. G'day everyone, Zoe the Video Confidence Coach here, and I wanted to just give you a quick message. Not just in times of need, and maybe if you've listened to or read, honestly, the topic of the video, I wanted to just say hi and also just to let you know that when you are trying something new and it's not working out as beautifully as you had in your mind, that is okay. That is something that I honestly keep doing myself. I've always done that, in matter of fact, throughout my entire life. I've always pushed things up to their, they need to be absolutely perfect for things to be worthwhile for me. And if I do things consistently and grow an audience and grow a community and be able to make this business work for me entirely, no ups and downs. But that's not realistic now, is it? There is always going to be ups and downs. And that's the feeling that I feel right now. I am honestly having a pretty low week, and I've been able to find solace in my community, in my mentors, in my clients, in the people that I have within my community, both in person and digitally, to be able to rely on knowing that they're there for me, that they're there to be supported by me, and they find great satisfaction and happiness in me supporting them. And that should be your perfect. That should be the thing that is going to drive you and continue for you to keep doing what you're doing. And if you tried something for long enough and it's not working out for you, then pivot. It's okay to pivot. And if you need to continue to keep pivoting for the rest of your life, then honestly, that's what we're all doing. We all have to keep pivoting to make things work for us, or to source different types of income, or maybe just try different things that are no longer resonating with us. The person that we were last year is not the person that we are now. We are constantly growing. And I want you to know that that's okay if you're feeling down right now, because you're going to feel down. But you're not going to feel down all the time. And if it is feeling like it's all the time, then seeing a doctor, seeing a professional, because life is naturally going to have its ups and downs. But if it's a constant thing, then I don't think it's the world, I think it's a you thing. So make sure you go see some help. And I say that as someone who did have to do that, as someone who did have to seek some help, because I couldn't stand my life at that point. And I did the best things that I could. I took the actions that I did and felt right, and I thought about them, and they still hurt. They still impacted me years later. But that's okay, because I'm going to continue to grow and do what I need to do. And hopefully you can do that same thing too, in your business, in how you support people and how you work with people, because you're doing it for them. But you still need to serve yourself at the end of the day. You still need to put yourself first so that you can serve others. You can't pour from an empty cup and all that. So if you're ever feeling down, knowing that it's not going to last forever, reach out to your community. Reach out to your friends, your family, your mentors, and they will be there to support you. Have a good day. So g'day everyone, that is it for today's live stream. I think we've done a really good job. I'm not entirely hitting the hour, but that is okay. I wanted to give myself that opportunity to be able to record however long the podcast episodes last, is however long they last. And I want to thank everyone who's reached out to me this week during the event that I ran earlier, and also to people who I was, my clients and a couple of my mentors. This hasn't been a great week for me, but that is okay. I have the support structures that I need to be able to support myself. And for those opportunities where I don't, I do my best to find those support structures. So I thank you for everyone who has been able to give me a little bit of support and a little bit of a pep up during this week. And hopefully next week will be a lot better. And let's see, what else have I got to check on before we finish up today? I think I wanted to reach out again. So I've emailed a couple of people back who were reaching out for the event that I ran earlier this week, the Podcast Power Hour. And as part of the registration was people could watch the event on the webpage that we had available for 48 hours after the event, because I can't realistically let the recording go because I obviously need to pay for the space that it takes up digitally on my servers, but also a case of like, it's a free event. If it was, say, a longer paid event, I may have left it up for a week, but it is, these are the parameters that I provided people when signing up, and also in multiple emails after the fact, allowing people to say, hey, you've only got 48 hours to watch the recording. And for those people who are unable to, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to, let things slide. This is a method that I've been doing for a very long time and what I recommend to my clients. And I have offered those people who are unable to see the recording to have a free 15-minute session with me. So if you are one of those people and you're catching me on the replay, feel free to check your emails and check that link to be able to book in a 15-minute session with me for us to discuss your podcasting journey and how hopefully I can help you on that journey. And if not, be able to give you some really easy next steps that you can take to help your journey. So I'm going to finish off today's live stream. Hope you had a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. And I will edit the podcast that was supposed to come out this morning that I may have forgot about. All right. Have a good week. Bye.